All right, guys. Hello and welcome to another show with DR Sports, DR7. Jeremy Hayes here, joined with rather Ben Spicer, CJ Mark. We'll bring you some live awards. First time ever. It's pretty exciting. I'm excited. I know these guys are excited. I want to hear from you guys. Ben, kick us off. How you feeling tonight?
I'm excited. We had our season poll show about 2 weeks ago, I believe. It was a huge success. Big thanks to everyone who watched and gave us feedback, who argued their case for why they should have been in the rankings. We had a lot of compelling arguments, but that was a lot of fun getting to talk ball with you guys. I'm looking forward to the award show. We got to see some amazing programs throughout the season, led by some top tier coaches with elite talent. We also got to see some amazing uniforms and some great moments with that. So we thought it would be a good idea to put this together, and we're looking forward to coming out with who we believe are the coaches, programs, uniforms, and moments of the year. I think I got everyone in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. I hope that we keep it clean. I don't need nobody fighting about the uniforms of the year. CJ, tell us how you feeling tonight, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. Like I said, it's been a long, successful, dominating year actually for DR7 and all of us actually. So, like I said, we've seen a lot of good programs, seen a lot of good, uniforms that drip. Everybody had that drip going on, and like I said, some coaches too had some really good moments with some coaches all over from Louisiana down to Florida, Oklahoma. We had a lot of great moments. You know what I'm saying? So just like I said, it was a long but successful year. And like I said, we're just wrapping this one thing up and making it, an award show out of it. So can't wait to release who's going to be our winners. And like I said, can't wait to just, get the show started.
Hey, I just want to, before you go, I want to shout out New Orleans Dolphins in the house. I see that in a comment on it. They came in earlier. We had a waiting room with people that was on. So shout out to them. Cal Viz was one of our shooters on. Shout out to Cal for watching this. Hey, Mark, finish us off with this intro, man. How you feeling tonight?
Man, what it do, what's happening, you know who it is, Mark Henry, man, straight out of that Texas, man, it's going down. Man, just happy to be here, man. Love to talk ball. That's what we do, man. We play football. It's bigger than just playing the game of football, but we dig football. We eat, sleep. Some people said I came out and hit the doctor with the laces perfectly. You know what I'm saying? When I came out of the womb, you know what I'm saying? Had the stiff arm and everything from those running back days. But, football is what I do. Football is what I, bury myself into. And I'm ready to talk some ball, ready to debate the elite panel, but I'm going to be right in the end.
Listen, couldn't have said it better myself. We're not gonna get into your running back days, but I think that's awesome. I think your running back days was just as awesome as our season was, if I say the least. Now, as these guys stated, man, we're super excited. We bring you the first ever award show now, and man, I can't wait to kick this thing off and actually make some things happen. Give out some awards, shout some people out. That's what we want to do here at DR Sports, is make sure that everybody that's involved in our DR Sports community gets some love some way, somehow. Athletes get the recognition and exposure that they need. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, and that's why we bring you these shows. We cut up, we have fun, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our athletes and then everybody involved in our DR Sports community get the love that they need. So if you're watching us right now, shout us out in the comment section. I know last time we didn't have it. I'm watching it actively, actually, and I'm gonna shout you out. I see I got Jeter. One of our awesome videographers, he's not commenting on it. He's laughing. I don't know what he's laughing at. Maybe it was Mark's comment about the running back days, but that's a story for another day. I don't want to hold anybody up, right? So let's get right into it. Now, DR Sports had big moments all year, and man, I tell you, man, some of the moments was emotional, some of the moments were exciting, surprise, it was thrillers, overtime wins. But I think that going into our very first tournament of the year and the meaning behind the very first tournament of the year, which, if you don't know, it was the King Classic. That to us was our biggest moment of the year. Mark, just walk us through what took place during that tournament and why we did that tournament.
Well, if you know anything about 707, not just in Texas, but specifically in the Houston area, the Meet Me at the Age tournament. Well, not the Meet Me at the Age, excuse me. The King Classic was the initial kickoff. Meet Me at H was the following month. But Coach King, Eric King, I kind of go back personally with him a little bit. I actually played against him in high school. I'm from that same part of town. We kind of grew up around. He's a couple years older than me. But his right-hand man, Coach Heiss, was actually a teammate of mine in high school. So we kind of ran in the same circle. So when this particular event came up, I jumped at the chance to make sure that I was in attendance. It was a moment that was special because of his significance in bringing light to athletes. We just talked about getting athletes exposure that they deserve or they need. A lot of times, me personally, I try to go for the guy that's the diamond in the rough or the hidden gem. I'm going to see the guys that get out of the pub, but I like to go off the beaten path a little bit, from a scouting perspective, even from a media perspective, to see that guy that doesn't get all the limelight. That's what Coach King was all about, and getting kids exposure and getting them in front of the right college coaches, taking them on college trips, getting that elite exposure to these guys. And you can see the blueprint all around the state, but definitely around the Houston area. And he was a big, big factor, not just in 7-on-7, but also on the tackle side. He was a high school coach as well. And, going back to his playing days, he was at the time when he played, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the Houston area and went on to play college. Of course, we all know his son, De'Aaron King, who was selected by the New England Patriots at the end of the draft. And, he's got professional aspirations. And that whole family is a football family. From the interviews that we conducted before and had a chance to talk to Miss King and the family, and that whole entire King Football Academy organization, he started it from the ground up. And that's what we wanted to celebrate. And I know that if he'd been there, he'd have been right in the mix. He was very gregarious. It's some of the stories that you guys had a chance to learn about him and witness, through his family and some of the coaches and even the kids. He was very, very special. You can see, they had a special uniform designed just for that particular day. And it ended up being the kickoff for not just the season for DR7, but also giving reverence and, respect to a man who was very, very integral in the part and developing kids. And that's what it's all about. And that's what dedication and respect sports is about, is giving you that exposure, but also with the development and getting the reps that you're going to get at a 7-on-7 event, because those guys sometimes not going to get those events. This is where these quarterbacks and receivers get that timing down. And we kicked it off and had a bang of a year. And that was the moment of the year to me.
Man, I think, Mark, there, you couldn't have said it any better, wrapping up that event. Man, yeah, Coach King was an awesome guy. I know Friday night was a little emotional. We had the family up on the panel. We posted a clip of De'Aaron, his son, who just got drafted, and his thoughts on his dad and how his dad helped him reach the level that he's playing at now and now being able to play in the NFL. That tournament was a awesome tournament for the reason behind it. Kids come out and compete, but I think that you left that tournament knowing exactly who Coach King was. Ben, kind of give me your thoughts on Coach King and the King Classic.
Well, there was no better way, I think, to kick off the DR7 circuit with our first tournament being the King Classic. And big shout out again to KFA and all they've done for kids in the Houston area over the years, and for Coach King himself. We got the chance to see a good number of teams for our first DR7 event, kick things off the right way. Mark was knocking it out of the park with some interviews, got to talk to members of the family, friends of Coach King. And we got to get a sense of the impact that he had in that area and throughout the state of Texas. And I think once we got to Championship Sunday, we got to see, some talent that we set the tone for what the season was going to be. The 18U championship game, that was one of the best championships games we had all year, between Fast Houston and STE going into overtime. Fast Houston wins in dramatic fashion. I think that really geared us up for what was ultimately a great season in DR7 with the King Classic. And I'm looking forward to, potentially down the road, continuing that tradition of the King Classic as the years go on with DR7. It was just an amazing way to start things off for DR7.
CJ, kind of finish us off here with the King Classic. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, like Ben said, and Mark also, it was a follow up to just how we was gonna come out the gate for DR7, and like you said, it was some major talent for our first DR7 tournament down there in Houston, and just not mention just 18U, but all the way from 15U to 14U, the Woodlands, they had a a kid named Jacoby Dixon that really went off in that game, had 2 pick sixes in that ball game to defeat the Money Squad at 35-26. So that was kind of the tone setter. And then we got to meet guys that was a part of that 15U DAB team that played up in some of our tournaments before. Dylan Thompson is a D1 prospect. So like I said, you know, those guys were really to have our eyes on them in our DR7 tournament coming out the gate was very special to me, just to, you know what I'm saying, be out there and be amongst the guys, the fellas, and kind of like what Mark said, just kind of, you know, getting those under radar type guys, you know. So really and then it ended off with, you know, a OT fashion type game with Fast Houston winning 37-29. So all in all, it was just a great atmosphere, great event. And I think King would be proud of how that was represented by, you know, all facets from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, and again, you know, that was a tone setter. Everything about the King Classic was just awesome. That's how we got started, and that's how we got going. And we did it remembering a man who started something a while ago, and his legacy continues to live on throughout Houston and the state of Texas. So that was a great moment. Can't wait for next year with the King Classic, because I know we threw that event and it's a little bit behind the scenes, but kind of last minute, grab what we can grab, and it turned out to be an awesome tournament. So shout out to KFA. Always shout out to Coach King, his family. We support you and we're behind you always. Just kind of segueing into the next moment of the year. Before I get there, I gotta pay attention to the comments. And we got some comments going on here. Some people watching this. I gotta give a huge. I mean, this comment I'm about to read out is huge, Austin. Ben, you are like this. West Texas Elite is watching us right now, but they're watching us at one of their athletes, their players' graduation. How awesome is that? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty awesome, right? So shout out to West Texas Elite. St. John's Cobra from Florida, Connor Hemingway is on watching us. Hey, we got to shout you out, man. And Reagan from North Texas United said she can't wait for next season. I don't think she wait like we can wait, because we've been waiting, and you know we fresh out the season, ready for another game here. So I just want to shout you out. Thank you for watching, Reagan. We appreciate you for all you've done, and thank you for coming out to our circuit this year. North Texas United is another program that you got to watch out for. They balled out when they was in Plano. So, all right, moving on to the next moment of the year. Our final moment of the year. Now, this moment of the year might be surprising to some people. The reason why, I will let you guys tell them, but our next moment of the year, and you can put the video on the screen now, Gridiron Giants winning in the Sooner 7 shootout, and really, I don't want to say surprisingly fashion, but it might have been surprised. Ben, kick us out. Tell us what's up.
I think it was definitely surprising. We saw them at our kickoff in Texas tournament. Third tournament of the year. They brought their gold team and their black team, and combined they went 0-10 overall. They averaged just 11 points per game, allowed 21.8, and both teams combined to have a point difference of minus 108. So they come to the Sooner 7 shootout, and we're not really sure what to expect from them. That was a tournament where we kind of thought, you know, the media guys always get together on Saturday night and we're at dinner and we talk about, you know, who we think's going to win in each age group. And we get to 18U and there's a lot of uncertainty. One team that definitely stood out was Sooner 7 Black. They went 5-1-1 overall, leading up to the championship, and had some top talent across the Sooner State. CJ got the chance to talk to some of their kids. But you look down towards the middle, towards the bottom of the standings, and you see the Gridiron Giants, and they're 2-2 overall in pool play. So they go into Sunday's run, and they're the underdog in every game they play, seeding-wise. They end up ultimately, as you see on your screen, knocking off Sooner 7 Black, who was the 1 seed overall, 42-27. And to me, guys, this is what 7-on-7 not only, but sports is all about. You know, that underdog type story, the emotions involved in sports, and just everything that goes into being a coach, to being a leader of these young men. And you can't compliment Coach Darby and his staff enough for what they did. You know, there's so many, and Mark can speak to this, there's so many 7-on-7 teams in the Dallas metro area. So the Gridiron Giants, in their first year, they're kind of getting, you know, the guys that, I hate to say it, and you know, for lack of better words, that nobody else picked up. So they're picking up, second options, third options, guys that are 2024s, 2025s, playing up on 18U, looking the chance to get their opportunity to get their name out. And what an opportunity. You're going up against some of the Midwest's best, Oklahoma's top prospects. I mean, we had 3 4-star athletes out there, and the Gridiron Giants, guys that maybe are unheard of at this point in time in the recruiting ranks. And they go up against them, they beat them, they beat some really good teams. They beat the Wichita Wheat, they beat 785 Elite, they beat Empire in the postseason run to get to that championship game. So not only are they knocking off Suitor 7, but they're knocking off some of the best teams in the Midwest too as underdogs. And we actually had the opportunity to interview members of the team, interview Coach Darby and some assistant coaches. If you haven't checked that out, check it out on our YouTube after we finish up the show. But guys, what a story that was. That to me is moment of the year, just them coming together, earning that paid bid to the Crown. And it was awesome to see Coach Darby and the guys down in Florida for the Crown National Championship.
CJ, you got to get the video you see on the screen right now. CJ, you got the opportunity to shoot that video and experience that emotion up close and personal. Just kind of walk us through what was taking place on that field, man, and just what was the energy like when you was down there?
Man, like I said, I got a chance to talk to Coach Jack before, Championship Sunday even got there. He was supremely confident in his guys to, handle business, not only Saturday, but, come out with a championship that Sunday, and that's what they did. So that the man that you see on that screen that was practically crying about that championship, tears of glory almost of that championship was Coach Jack. And like I said, it was a very intense moment. Nobody counted them in. Like nobody gave them a head nod to actually win that ball game, and they end up winning it in a big fashion, 42-27. Just a couple guys that was on that, that team that really made a difference. Nico Aguilar, East Texas Baptist, Dakari Williams, a class 2022 guy. So they, not only what Ben said is right, where they have kids playing up class 2024 and 25, but they do have kids that are now foregone, as far as being seniors. So they just graduated. So they was trying to get their name out there as well. And they did it in pretty good fashion with beating guys on that, Sooner 17 that are not just, 4 and 3-star athletes, but we're talking, number 1, number 4, top 5 athletes in the state of Oklahoma. So that was an important moment, as you see right there on your screen, for Coach Jack and, head coach Darby to really, stamp their claim as one of those teams that you need to be aware of in the Dallas metro area.
Yeah, CJ, I'm just like I told y'all, CJ was there right there up live. First, most of this video came from CJ, so he got to experience that moment up close and personal. Mark, you called this game, I believe, with Ben. Mark, just kind of walk us through, was you surprised at the outcome? Just kind of walk us through that final championship game, and what did that mean to a program like this, a first-year program that, like Ben said, went 0-10, and then came back and won the Sooner 7 class. Just kind of walk us through your thoughts through that.
Well, I'll start with the first time I had a chance to get eyes on these guys was in Plano, and the organization, they really only had a little bit to practice. As you can remember, guys, in Plano it snowed, and we were all kind of freezing that Saturday. So, and the weather, in Texas is bipolar; it changes by the hour. And speaking with some of the coaches before that, introducing myself and talking to them and kind of watching them warm up. That's kind of how I usually go about introducing myself to people that I don't know and or haven't seen a lot of. And the Gridiron Giants had just burst onto the scene, and they hadn't really had a lot of practice and a lot of time to gel. And with offenses and defenses especially, the communication on defense is very important, and it has to be a continuity, and they have to be playing together for a while. Offense can kind of come out and wing it a little bit, and they just didn't hit the right buttons or, weren't in sync per se. But when they turned up in Oklahoma, going into the championship game, everybody knows kind of with anytime you play in a tournament, pool play on Saturday is just kind of, with a filler. This is where you kind of position yourself in the rankings, so to speak, or in your division. Sunday is turned up another notch, 2 to 3 notches. And the Gridiron Giants just seem to do that. Going into the semifinals, we were kind of hearing a little buzz, and then when we got to the championship game, these guys showed up and showed out. And CJ talked about a guy that I was very impressed with, Nico Aguilar, who's headed to East Texas Baptist. As you can see, look at him scanning the field, and his arm strength was very impressive. The way he got back in the pocket, you only have 4 seconds, but he scanned the field. As you can see, he throws a dime to a guy that was covered, but he threw it to where the receiver could get it. But another guy that I was very impressed with, and I also had a chance to catch up with at the Crown, was Boris Taylor. He's really an athlete, but I think at the next level, he'll probably be a corner. 5'11", 165 from Woodrow Wilson High School. Woodrow Wilson is not one of the top high schools as far as football in the state of Texas or in the DFW area being talked about, an under radar guy. This is a guy that you need to know. I had a chance to catch up with him in several games, and myself and CJ happened to watch them down in the Crown. And, Taylor showed up every time. Very physical, his tenacity. But, also when you're playing in a heavy competitive area or competitive tournament like the Crown ended up being at the beginning, at the end in Florida, you have to have a guy that's always positive, but he's firm on his teammates. This is Boris Taylor. And I told him, when we had a chance to talk, that I know that he'll probably play at the next level. He just needs to get eyes on him. This is why we do this. This is why, we try to shine the light on guys like that. And this is what the Gridiron Giants is about, is getting these guys together that hadn't been seen, but they're right on the cusp. And they just need that extra nudge. And that's what we do here in the scouting department for Dedication and Respect Sports and in the media department. CJ is a great example, especially being, with the lower level guys. And when I say lower level, we're talking about 10, 12 years. They go after guys, and I've seen them do it. They go after guys that you don't know about. Of course, we're going to see the guys that are going to end up playing on Saturdays. We don't really look at stars and things like that. We don't do that. We look at you. I'd like to pass the eye test. I want to see you and get to see you. When I equated to this on Friday nights when I'm on the sideline, I want to smell what the pads smell like. I want to hear the grunt. I want to hear the coach yelling. I almost see the sweat fall off your face. The only reason I'm in the press box is if it's snowing. I'm definitely going to go and bundle up. But other than that, I want to be down in the nitty-gritty. I want the refs talking to me. I want them to tell me to move out the way. That's how close we want to be to the action. And, getting a chance to see these guys up close and personal. Shout out to my guy, Boris Taylor, Woodrow Wilson. He's coming back. He's going to be a senior. Definitely somebody in the DFW area. College coaches, if you're watching, go check him out.
And I think that's the reason why we love this moment of the year so much, because it's so well connected with not just us 3 guys, 4 guys up here, but it's connected to our brand. Like, we're looking for the next who's gonna be that guy. We're not really. We know that the media is gonna be there for the 4 and 5, but what about the next guy that need that extra love? That's where we're coming from a standpoint of having that dedication to your craft. So that's the reason why I feel like what we do is so important to the other level type of kids that need that, So, and I think that was a perfect representation from when we went out to Oklahoma to the Sooner 7 Classic. That was a perfect representation to represent not only us as, men, but as a brand. So that's my 2 cents.
And then to close it like that before you go, Jeremy, the name speaks for itself. They were Giants on the gridiron at the perfect time. The perfect storm, all the elements and everything aligned themselves to get that championship and punch themselves to the crown where they got seen by other people. At that Sooner 7 tournament, there were college coaches roaming around. Even in Florida, there were college coaches rolling around. And they had a chance to play against some other top competition outside of the state of Texas. A lot of times, kids don't get a chance to experience that, but the Gridiron Giants brought it as an organization. And now we're going to talk about some other programs as I lead into Jeremy and pass it back to him, Program of the Year.
I'm going to tell you like this. You guys got me over here dropping the mic, all these great points, great elements, and, and it's true. The truth is behind what you guys are saying. The next big thing, I will tell you like this before we move on. I think for me, after the Gridiron Giants won the Sooner 7 shootout, which was a great moment. But when you asked them right after the tournament, hey, are you guys coming to the crown? Immediately before you even got the question rolled off your tongue, the answer was yes. And they did. And they came and they competed. They wasn't scared of competition. I think the Gridiron Giants is going to be around the state for a while. I think we all could agree to that. Now, before we give out some awards, I got to go back to my comment section. and I got some good comments to read. I got some people watching. I'm gonna start off with my guy Nick out of Houston. He's watching. He said, "Shout out to y'all." Dom, I guess Dom is with the Gridiron Giants, so he was watching the entire time. He's watching. So, shout out to you, Dom. All of our nephew. I didn't say one of our, but all our nephew. Tyler Harrison is on. He's in the building. He's in the comment section. That guy's gonna be playing on Sundays, and one day we all will get to retire as much as we take care of Tyler. All right, Tyler Harrison. Why? Shout out Tyler. All right, I got another guy, Ethan, with Gridiron Giants. He's on. Trinity Elite 14U is in the house. Thank you for watching. And Ben from your neck of the woods, Indy Select, is in the comment section. They are watching. Thanks everybody that's on the stream that's watching. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Share this link. Continue to comment. We got some more awards that we got to give out here. It's a lot of exciting things that we got to go on. Martin done gave y'all a little bit of the beans here, but we're going to move on over to Program of the Year. Now, this one is very, very, very exciting. Now, I'm going to hush, and you guys are going to debate it out, and then we'll move on and we'll give the award out. I think I want to start with CJ, though, with this, the Program of the Year. CJ, who did you select? Who did you choose? Tell us why. Go ahead. Just give us your thoughts, man.
I'm split, actually, between two really good programs, but my heart really want to say Cat Takeover is the Program of the Year. My mind wants to say Team Tampa is the Program of the Year. The reason why I feel like Cat is a really good program is not only what they do on social media and promoting their players and other things that they do off and on the field, but just the attitude that they bring to the game. I really feel like they bring a space and an attitude to the game that is very much, relevant to, pad level football, Friday night football. And it's not really soft. It's not really, it's more rugged. So Coach Chaz, he's a really good coach. I had the chance to sit down and talk to him individually when we was at the Peach Classic in Ruston, Louisiana. And I really like him as not only as a coach, but as a person. And like I said, fell in love with some of the players there. Carson Gordon is, he was a really good quarterback. Like I said, we talked about this before on our show. Andre Thompson is another good guy that really shined in that championship game against Team Tampa. And the reason why, like I said, I'm split against those two programs is, like I said, Team Tampa is another good program that is really, really, they just do everything right. They really do everything right. And I just feel like they're going to be, one of those programs that, we all know they're here to stay. And like I said, those are the two programs that I really like for Program of the Year.
Mark, do you agree, disagree with CJ? Talk to me. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to take it, I like CJ's pick, and shout out to Cat Takeover, Coach Chaz. I had a chance to catch up with him. I've been knowing Coach Chaz a couple years now, but we really had a chance to talk at the Crown a little bit, and I had a chance to see that Cat 2024 team. Those guys are next up. But I'm going to have to start a little bit lower at the lower levels with Orlando Elite. This organization has 10, 12, and 14U. But one of my favorite players is Javin Cheek, the quarterback for the 10U team. He's a dog, and I had a chance to see him the first time when we went to Orlando. And he was struggling a little bit. He had his coach talking to him. He had several, his dad was right there with him. He had his receivers talking to him, but he never lost his cool. It's like Cool Hand Luke, or the Fonz from Happy Days. He's always cool like the other side of a pillar. And I really like his demeanor. One of my favorite players to see on the circuit. One thing about the Orlando Elite is they are DR7 down. They played in Plano. They played at the Crown. They played in Orlando. We went to Plant City. We saw them over and over. You have to show love for them being, almost down with us every time we saw them at dinner. We saw them at the hotels. They didn't miss a media night. These guys do it right. Now, let's talk about the numbers a little bit, because I know my partner up next is a numbers guy. You know what I'm saying? At the Crown, they went 4-1 in 10U, 118 points scored, 54 only allowed. They were short a few guys as well, made it. Several rounds deep. 12U, 3-2, 132 points scored, 71 points allowed. Now, what that tells you is they know how to score offensively. And we'll talk about the Orlando Elite. We're kind of shorthanded, playing with 7 guys at times, maybe 9. So, in that Florida Heat, they had to pick it up a little bit. And also, that talks to the continuity and these guys play together also on the tackle side. The Sunshine State Shootout. Say that 3 times real fast. The 10U went 3-2, but they put up 127 points, only allowed 56 points, finished in the semis. The 12U finished in the runner-up, going 5-1, 123 points scored, 87 allowed. The 14U, 77 points scored. So these guys know how to get it done offensively. And just as an overall, as an organization, the 10U went 19-3 on the year, 14U went 11-7, and 12U went 21-5. Now, if you put those totals together, you can't beat that with a stick if you wanted to, even if you're next to them. If it was a snake, you would have bit you. This is what these guys do. That coaching staff, they put it together. And also, I'm not a big Ohio State fan, but I love the way they got the O in the middle. Look at the uniforms there on the back. The guys always look slick and clean. If you wear your fits good, you're going to play good. These guys play good. Overall, they scored almost 25 points a game at the 10U level, over 200 points scored, 2 championships, the 12U team, 3 runner-ups. So these guys have a championship quality to go along with, championship coaching, as well as, just being a gritty team, a gritty organization. And that shows development as well as some of these guys are going to be moving up into the 15U ranks, to the high school ranks, and some of those 12U guys will be coming up to 14U. So in 2023, we'll get a chance to see the revolving door, how these guys developing. So, the Orlando Elite was the team that I picked, but I do love Cat Takeover. I'm never going to, go against H-Town very much, but I'm going to go with the Orlando Elite.
Now, I will say another interesting thing about Orlando Elite, and I think you mentioned it, but they were, when they found out was having to meet me in the Ace tournament, which was a large tournament that we had over in Houston, they was excited. They got on the plane. They made sure they let us know, hey, we on the plane. Hey, we just landed. What a smoke. And they came and they came and showed that was a great championship game against, I think it was Beaumont Legends there in that championship game and in the 12 and 10U, sorry. So Orlando Elite is a great organization. Ben, take us home here with your ideas and your thoughts on who you think that the program of the year is.
Well, before I get started, I want to make sure it's clear to everyone. So when we determined this choice, we factored in multiple teams. So had we gone the team of the year route and just picked one team, I think we can all come to an agreement. You mentioned Tyler Harrison watching. Team of the year to me would have to be the Tampa Bay Irish. I mean, 21-0, they won every game they played. They won 3 championships in our tournaments and absolutely dominated in the 12U ranks. A lot of those kids still 10-11. I know Tyler, I think he's just finished in elementary school. So when we factored this in, we considered programs that had teams in multiple age groups. And so my pick is Texas Epic. Texas Epic here in the Dallas area. I am a little biased. I do have to put that disclaimer out, though. Of course, I do their social media, so I've gotten a chance to be around them at not only a lot of our tournaments, but several other tournaments also. Combined overall, 32-9-2 overall, 3 championships and 2 runner-ups in just 2 tournaments played. Their 15U's average margin of victory, 16.6 points. They're beating teams by an average of almost 17 points a game. Their 14U over 10 points average margin of victory too at 11.8, so right at 12 points a game. And when you look at what their 14 and 15U teams did, 14U's 14-1 overall, averaging 26 points per game. They had 1 championship, finished as a runner-up to the fourth quarter mentality bootleggers at our kickoff in Texas tournament. Got to give them a shout out. I know Mr. Wyman, QB1, he follows us a lot on social media, so got to give him and Coach Fuse a shout out. But 15U, I think we really saw them come on the stage at our Showdown in D-Town tournament. You know, they've gone 14-0-1 overall. Their one tie was to Team Tampa. They tied 20-20, got their revenge in the championship game, 37-2, a mercy rule victory over Team Tampa. I think we were all kind of shocked by that result. And what we've seen with Texas Epic, and we'll talk more about Coach Don coming up in our next segment, but what we've seen from Texas Epic is this is a core group of players that Coach Don has had and he's coached over the years. And you can certainly see that when they play. They're disciplined. They might not have the 4- and 5-star guys in the future, but certainly they're going to have guys that play in college because of their discipline, how they take coaching, and how well they run their routes and know the playbook. This is not a playbook that you can just kind of pick up and go out there and roll with it. You know, this is a complex playbook. He installs different plays each week, like a lot of coaches do, but they're not just your typical plays. You know, there's a lot of route discipline involved, a lot of work that it takes to get this done, and you see that in the end results. I think what ultimately pushed it over the edge for me, though, was their 12U team. After going, it's kind of a Gridiron Giants situation. You know, 12U goes 0-5 at the kickoff in Texas, just 28 points scored in 5 games. They allow 104. Then they come back at the showdown in D-Town. They go on a magical run. I believe they were 1-2-1 in pool play. They end up coming out, get all the way to the championship game, ran into the buzzsaw that was Tyler Harrison and the Tampa Bay Irish, but put up a good fight. Probably gave the Irish their best challenge of the weekend. They also knocked off Cat Takeover Black in the semifinals by a point, a champion at the Peach Classic to get there. And they really improved. You know, we just mentioned 28 points scored in that first tournament. We saw them. They come back with 146 that next one. So again, a lot of guys that had to play up. Unfortunately, we didn't have a 10U. I think the 10U team would have had a lot of success at Showdown in D-Town had we had that age group. So they were with the misfortune of having a lot of kids play up, like we see, you know, from multiple organizations. But to me, Texas Epic, for what they did at our 2 tournaments, I think they've got to be the program of the year. But I think what sort of handicaps them was we didn't get the chance to see them at the Crown. That's ultimately what held them back. And I know our winner of program of the year, we did get the chance to see at the Crown. Jeremy, I know you've got that queued up for us, who the ultimate program of the year was.
Yes. And now you guys make me the bad guy in this situation. So we got Orlando Elite, we got Cat Takeover and Team Tampa with CJ, and we got Ben picking home team with Texas Epic. Y'all not gonna point the fingers at me and cue up that video. We're gonna get an award out too. Our program is gonna go to none other than the CM Naturals. Now, this might catch a lot of people by surprise, but there's a reason for this. Ben, you like stats? Give them to us.
Well, we've got some good stats. But first, before I want to start, and CJ and Mark, you guys can add on to this. When you think about Louisiana 7-on-7 football, there's one program that comes to mind. It's the Louisiana Bootleggers. And any team in that state has to go up against the Bootleggers. We know they have 300 teams across the bayou that they have that come out and recruit. They get some of the top kids in Louisiana. And then not only that, you're going up against, you know, the U Elite, Academy Elite, New Orleans Dolphins. They're watching in. And I think they might be a candidate for Program of the Year next year. I saw Coach Bold's 12U at the Crown. They've got a little special something there brewing up. But back to the CM Naturals, you know, they're getting they've had to overcome having to recruit against some of these top programs across the state of Louisiana. Coach Harvey, I think this is only the second year of the CM Naturals too, and they really caught our eye at the Peach Classic. 15U, they knock off the U Elite, who was an honorable mention, one of our top teams in the 15U age division. They fall to the New Orleans Dolphins in 14U, but that's when we really start to see their 14. There was a lot of talented 14U teams. That was probably our toughest division, or one of them, at the Peach Classic. You know, you had the 318 Hot Boys. You had fourth quarter mentality Bootleggers, who had won our kickoff in Texas. There were some really good 14U teams. So they kind of caught our attention there, and they didn't let us down as we go into the battle in the A. They come from Louisiana to Atlanta, battled that cold that we had to overcome. You see right there on the screen, the ski mask. I wish I had one of those when we were in Atlanta. It was just awful cold. Snowing. We had snow in Atlanta for that tournament. But then we get to Sunday, the weather clears up, and we see the CM Naturals in the 15U and the 14U championship. 15U beats the Carolina Stars. 14U tops Rare Air. They come to the Crown. 15U ultimately falls to Beta Beach, who I think would be, you know, another one of those candidates for team of the year if we had that category. And then 14U, again, in a loaded 14U, you know, we heard from Trinity Elite. They were one of the top teams in that tournament. They ultimately placed C1N, Cam Newton's team. They finished as runner-up. But just all in all, what they've accomplished and how far they've come, you know, we saw them at 3 tournaments. They won 3 championships. They finished as runner-up twice, 34, 5, and 3 overall. CM Naturals Program of the Year, and deservingly so.
CJ, are you arguing with those numbers from Ben?
No, it's definitely hard to argue those numbers, especially, you know, with the CM Naturals, what they've done and showing up to the Crown, and not only having one team compete at the Crown and making it past the quarterfinals, but having 2 teams ultimately get into the quarters or get into the championship and competing with the best teams around the nation. So, like I said, it's hard to argue those numbers, those total stat numbers, like we like to call out a lot of times. But like I said, you know, those championships matter. They won 3 in various age groups. So they won 2 in 15U, which arguably I feel like is the toughest and most competitive age group that DR7 has to offer right now. And like you said, just, you know, in that 14U, we seen guys like Chad Elzy that, you know, me and Mark pulled to the side because this guy was balling so good in the cold weather in that championship game in Atlanta. So that's the type of talent that they had. Quincy McKay is an Adidas freshman All-American that's on that 15U team that we got to see in the Peach Classic. So, you know, that was the first taste of really us getting a chance to see what type of talent that Coach Harvey and those guys was really establishing with those well-known brands, like you said before, with, you know, the bootleggers being out there and, you know, the U Elite, those guys. So competing with those guys and having guys like McKay being a freshman All-American and Chad Elzy coming up on the radar, you know, midway through our season. And like I said, the quarterback was definitely one of those guys that Mark was really on for the 15U in that championship game against the Carolina Stars, I believe so. And like I said, it's hard to argue with those numbers when you're talking about being a program, because not only did they win championships at multiple age groups, but they was definitely at the Crown and very active in our, you know, DR7 Crown event. So like I said, kudos to, you know, Coach Harvey and the CM Naturals. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And like I said, those guys are going to be competitive and a well-known, you know, represented brand for years to come.
Mark, give me your one word to describe the CM Naturals and why you chose that word.
I'll leave it with their own name, natural talent. One of my guys that I was really fond of and had a chance to talk to. Man, they're just natural athletes. You can't beat the boot, man, even if you put your foot in it. But anyway, look, check this out. Paxton LaFont, class of 2024, wide receiver, 6'3", 185, was a guy that I noticed when we were in Atlanta, but I saw him at the Crown, and he just elevated his game, and he was really, really catching the ball with his hands, big catch radius, able to go up and get the 50-50 ball, but his route running was superb for a bigger guy. But you don't notice these guys unless you get out and be on the gridiron with them. And I had a chance, you know, I stand right on the sideline. Sometimes they have to tell you, you know, big fella, get out of the way, you know. But anyway, Paxton LaFont, a name you need to know, class of 2024. You know, I was very, very impressed. He also jumps over on the, you know, on the defensive side and plays a little safety for his high school. But I think that he's going to make his living on the wide receiver on the offensive side. You know, he's got some invites to Louisiana, you know, down in the southern part of Louisiana. He's going to be camping there. This is a guy that you need to get your eyes on, you know, in the class of 2024. Now, those guys, you know, from a scouting perspective, are about to turn up because, you know, the 23s, they kind of got those guys selected. So it's kind of, you know, in the recruiting world, the 2024s, this is the first time when January comes, September gets here, that's the first time that they can actually talk to coaches and they can visit them. They can actually get on the phone with them because they'll be juniors. Paxton LaFont will be getting some calls, you know, and I love that name, LaFont. That screams Louisiana, doesn't it?
It does. I couldn't agree with you more. Well deserving of the CM Naturals to receive this award. I mean, you guys had great arguments. I mean, Texas Epic, I mean, my Lord, you know, they come to the Crown. I think this conversation is different. Cat Takeover, who took over Louisiana, and when we had the Peach Classic in Ruston, Cat had, I mean, every time you turn around, you saw that Cat logo. And then Orlando Elite, man, just the fighting will with that program. I mean, it's just awesome. it's just awesome, right? So I think CM Naps was very deserving of his win. Shout out to Coach Harvey, his team, and everybody that takes hand in that program. Fantastic program. And I think you guys wouldn't be any less than deserving of winning this award. Now I got to go back to the comment section. I know we've been rolling on. We still got 2 more awards to give out. So I want to reach out to the comment section very quickly. Brent Bishop, I guess that's the Cobra sign that he got in there. I like it. I think it's with the Cobras. Shout out to Jawan, DR7 Fire. I like that. Texas Epic is in the comments. CM Naturals. We do have somebody from CM Naturals in the comments. So congratulations on that award. Brian Hemingway, what's up, man? That dude is awesome. If you don't know Brian, you're missing out. A great guy, awesome dude. We appreciate you for tuning in and watching this. And y'all, I do got to tell you, your uncle is on the live. None other than the owner, Jonathan Mumphrey. He's watching. He said killing it. I guess he sent that with an Android. Don't really know. We'll find out here in a little bit. We'll talk to him after the show. All right, moving on. Oh, wait, one more. Y'all got to, Beta Beach, just comment. Say, don't forget about us. We see you, Beta Beach. Trust us. We won't forget about you, okay? All right, moving on. I want to move on because we got to get on to, this is an interesting, very interesting, topic here of Coach of the Year. This award could have went to a lot of coaches. I think we all agree on the winner. We know who the winner is, but we want to give some other coaches some love here to start off with. And so with this one, I want to start off with Mark. Mark, you talk to these coaches a lot, and you get to dig into their background, their life, and things of that such. Just kind of who would you select right now on our circuit as Coach of the Year, and why?
Well, I've been knowing this coach a couple of years. I kind of ran into him at a practice about 2 years ago. Shout out to my guy, Coach Duffy in Texas Ice. They had me, kind of following him around and, doing a little media with him. And so I was invited to a practice, and I ran into Coach Andre Hendricks from West Texas Elite. I talked to him, and I noticed that some of the guys, he had were a lot younger. Texas Ice is very talented at this time, always a very talented team. Some of these guys hadn't even made it to high school yet. But I noticed, as I was watching, is Coach Hendricks, his energy, his, never say die attitude about his players. Always positive with his players. And he goes to bat for these guys. If you don't know about West Texas Elite, they're a team made up of players from the West Texas area. On the Texas landscape of high school football, West Texas gets slept on a lot. Now, a little background on Coach Andre. He's from the Dallas area, played his high school football here. Howard Payne University is where he played his college football. He also had, a little bit of arena football, so he made it to the professional ranks. So, I ran into him and I talked to him after the practice. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to get your information and contact me. He was very, very big. Hey, man, you need to meet this guy. He makes a point that you introduce your kids to guys like myself and guys in the media. And he makes that a point to get to know these guys. And we've kept in contact over the last couple of years. And the West Texas Elite, they've come and played on the DR7 circuit several times this year. And they always bring it. One of the top players from the West Texas area out of Abilene High School, class of 2025. He started this as an 8th grader. Keegan Anderson. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks coming out of the state of Texas before he gets finished. He's got the strong arm. He's gotten a lot taller. He's starting to streamline his body. He's at Abilene Wiley High School. Now, he's going to have a big year going into a sophomore year. This is a guy that you need to know. But going back to the coach, he's very, very visible on social media with his guys promoting constantly, with guys like myself, Ben, CJ, very heavy in the game on that. And those are the type of characteristics that I look at as a coach that helps his kids get to the next level. And since he started the West Texas Elite, guys have started to trend out on the West Texas area, and they're going to college. So that screams development, not just from a coaching standpoint, but a lot of times, he has a couple of more assistant coaches, but you'll see Coach Andre running from the 15U to the 12U, Then he goes to the 18U. So he doesn't just focus on one area or one age group. He's he's all over the place. He's like an amoeba. He's constantly moving. But this is the guy that I've become fond of him. Become fond of West Texas Elite over the last 2 or 3 years. And these guys are definitely trending in the right direction. Just a few more guys that you might, want to get to know on a 15U roster. Darian Mathis and Darian Howard, 2 young guys out in West Texas that you definitely need to know about. Devin Coronado, Jalen Johnson, just to name a few, Morgan Lackey. These guys are going to be coming up. Quarterback Elazar Lopez, they call him Jet, for the 15U. And now we talked about Keegan Anderson already, and he's playing on 18U. He's been playing 18U since he was in the 8th grade before he even reached high school. We're talking about a guy that's also a two-sport athlete. He's, a beast on the diamond. He can swing the wood. So, he's bringing it there. A couple of more guys off of that roster that you may need to know about. Nathan White, Tim Outlaw, and Desmond Wallace. They claim it's only us, and they're the best out west. And they have already showed us that they're the best out west by coming to DR Sportz and the DR7 circuit and competing. They've reached a couple of finals. They've been right on the cusp of just blowing the doors open. And this is why, Coach Andre is one of the guys that I think, if I had a choice, that's who I would nominate. And it's not about wins and losses. It's about the group effect. And this guy gets his parents involved as well. He's all over the place. And you can see, it's like the old meme. He sprinkles his knowledge. He sprinkles his game all the way through the organization from top to bottom.
CJ, who is your coach of the year?
Yeah, like what Mark said, it's a lot of different guys that are well deserving of this award. And like I said, I just feel like what this award really represents is not only just wins and losses, but just the impact that you have on your community, your foundation, your team as a total. So I would say that my coach of the year prospect would be Coach Harvey, just because of the simple aspect of, not only did they're well relevant on Twitter. They're well relevant on Instagram. They get those guys out, having over 200 something posts on Instagram as an organization. I see their things all the time with, brand recognition, things like that, being on a major platform to try to, get those guys out there. They do an amazing job at just, doing the small things to get their guys on top of there. And like I said, another guy that I just got through talking about is Coach Chaz for, the Cat Takeover team. They had multiple programs all throughout, from 12U and their 18U to their 18 older team and their younger team, just competing their tails off, trying to, be, those programs that, are more dominant than other programs in our DR7 circuit. So I just definitely feel like those two guys are well deserving to be coach of the year, named coach of the year, because not only do they have the categories of win and losses down, but at the same time, they are impactful in their communities and with their parents to team. Like they're just well off together.
Ben, kind of wrap us up here before we actually give the award out. Give us who you think your coach of the year should be.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna talk about a couple guys that have been supportive of DR7 and I think deserve some recognition, some accolades too. You guys mentioned people that are all over the place, coaches that coach multiple age groups. And I think if you're going to talk about that, you have to talk about my guy, Coach Fuse, with fourth quarter mentality. Started up his own program this year, but he's been well known on the 7-on-7 scene. I always joke with him at our tournaments, instead of miking him up, we should put a heart rate monitor on him and just see, how much that spikes throughout the day, because he's always intense. Like Coach Hendricks, he's a guy that you'd want to play for because you can just tell that he really cares. And to circle back around, another coach that you see on your screen right now, actually, Coach Lee Davis with Orlando Elite. We talked about Orlando Elite a lot throughout the show, but one thing we have failed to mention is their first-year program. And you look at how big 7-on-7 is in the state of Florida, you have to take into consideration that, like some of these other teams, we mentioned CM Naturals, Orlando Elite is competing with a lot of 7-on-7 organizations in terms of getting players out. Another guy that you have to give high praise to is that man right there, Jay Mize. We talked about the Tampa Bay Irish 21-0 in DR7 tournaments. They win the 12U national championship. They're like a well-oiled machine, and you can see the kids really take after him and follow his lead. Lastly, I have a couple interesting candidates. How about the entire coaching staff from Gulf Coast Academy and Level Up? Coach Flynn with Level Up. I think he's in his third or fourth year up in Iowa. Iowa, not a state maybe that you would put into consideration with being a football presence, but he has done just a fabulous job of getting his kids' names out there, trying to get them a platform through 7-on-7 football. And of course, Gulf Coast, they're entering year 2, I believe. The growth that we've seen from them from year 1 into year 2 was just exponential. They finished as 18U runner-up at our Battle in the A tournament. I think they've come a long way too. Got the chance to see them at the Crown. They've put out a 12U team, and they're starting to trickle down to the lower age groups. And one more guy that I want to mention before we get to our winner is Michael Siciliano. I hope I said that right. I'm going to go ahead and take the heat because I know Jeremy was a little nervous on how to pronounce that. So I'll take the fall. I think we got that right, Coach Michael. I hope we pronounced that correctly. But he had a 12U team that started out for the first time this season, and they won our Sunshine State Shootout. That was a stacked 12U lineup in that. I think 12U has been one of our most competitive age groups all throughout the year. But Gridiron Elite, they had several different teams. I think they had a 14U, an 18U, and they're another program on Florida that's on the rise. And I think that's thanks to Coach Michael and his work that he's done.
Yeah, I will say, Ben, first of all, thank you for taking the heat on that, because there's no way in the world I know I would have got that correct. So I appreciate you for manning up and actually taking the heat with his last name. Coach Michael actually won our polls. We put a poll up on our social media, and actually who the community thought the coach of the year should be. Coach Michael did receive more votes than any other coach, so they have a strong social community there. But I think that backs him up because he is a wonderful coach. If I had to give another coach a shout out, it'd be Coach Ace with the Dolphins. Y'all know I love the Dolphins. And Coach Ace, he always had them boys ready to go. Great man, very honest, very truthful, got a lot of grit. And I think what makes a coach great is the community behind him and the support that comes behind the coach and the push. And everybody with the New Orleans Dolphins organization will tell you that they love Coach Ace. So that's another shout out. All right, with that being said, I always got to start with Ben because Ben's a stat guy, all right? And so everybody put a smile on your face because here comes the winner. Aaron, cue that up for us now. All right, Coach of the Year goes to Coach Don Smith from Texas Epic. Ben, tell us why.
Well, we talked a little bit about it for Program of the Year. You know, we got the chance to see them 12U, 14U, and 15U, 2 of our tournaments. They win 3 championships, 2 runner-ups. To quote DJ Khaled, all they do is win. And that was a recurring theme throughout the year. Seeing them in some other tournaments, they kind of struggled towards the end of the season. But when they were playing on the DR7 circuit, they were dominant. 32, 9, and 2 overall. Our only mercy rule win in a championship game over Team Tampa, which we can all agree has multiple players who will be suiting up on Saturday and probably even Sunday. Just the talent from Team Tampa, incredible. And Texas Epic was able to dethrone them in convincing fashion, to say the least, at our Showdown in D-Town tournament. And again, with Coach Don, what we see is, you know, he's going to roll out with the guys that he's given. He's not going to go out and add a bunch of players. I think that's a huge testament to him. He stuck with his guys throughout the year. And what we saw, it was kind of like with Coach Siciliano, just the praise when we put out, who do you think Coach of the Year? We had a number of programs getting on there and saying, hey, if you don't pick Texas Epic's coach, then you're crazy. You know, he's the guy who's had a lot of success on the 7-on-7 circuit. I got the chance to go over and check out his trophy room last year. And, you know, at this rate, it's going to become a trophy apartment. He's going to have to get some more rooms for all the trophies, including, you know, those 3 championships that he's won on the DR7 circuit. But, guys, the numbers just jump off the page. Again, the 15U team, average margin of victory in DR7 tournaments, 16.6 points per game. There's some teams that struggle to score 16 points. And his 15U team posted a total of 428 points in 15 games. That's an average of right at 29 points per game. They gave up just at 12 points per game. 14U dominates too, 26 points per game, 14 2 points allowed. And again, I think what separates them is the jump from the 12U team that we saw from the kickoff in Texas tournament to Showdown in D-Town, going 0-5 at that kickoff in Texas. then it's showdown in D-Town. They make it all the way to the championship game before ultimately falling to the Tampa Bay Irish. Coach Don, if you know 7-on-7 football, you know the name, and I think there's no doubt that he's our coach of the year.
And I think really, like, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut.
Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
I really think what really cemented Coach Dunn, we call him the Godfather. What I think what cemented him really was that 37-2, margin victory over Team Tampa. Like, this is a team that was really, averaging 30 points going into Championship Sunday, and I believe they scored 33, and maybe 29 points leading up into that championship game against the Texas team, the Texas Epic. And just to have that performance against a team that was, not only, more physical than them, but at the same time, we feel like was more, just jumps off the paper at you a little bit more than the Texas Epic team. And like I said, just to beat them in a margin like that, I think, in my opinion, that's why it's cemented in my mind that Coach Dunn is, our coach of the year.
Mark, real quick, top us off and finish up here with Coach of the Year.
Well, I like to call him the Don Father because he has his hand in a little bit of everything. He's another guy that, coaches everything mostly himself. Doesn't have a defensive coordinator. He's not a guy that's a big rah-rah guy. He's kind of a smooth operator like Sade. It's just smooth. He doesn't get rattled, and the kids follow suit with that into the way they play because they've been in some hostile environments. It's always a thing where everybody kind of keeps that lazy eye on Texas Epic going into pool play, and then they kind of turn up on Sundays. And you turn around, and Texas Epic is right there in the championship game. We have these conversations on Saturdays and Saturday nights. We kind of have a little, pick 'em segment between everybody. And, I had to quit picking against Texas Epic because the Don Father was just taking all my change. He was taking my money.
I picked every time, Don. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And I quit picking against him. And I have a real good, shout out to Coach Don Smith. He's always been very good to me, access to his guys. He's got one of the best young quarterbacks that's about to come up. If you don't know this guy's name, Ben can tell you his name. Everybody on here can tell you his name. He's going to be the next guy up, and then they have just, they just kind of route you up. They don't really get rattled, and they don't take plays off. They're just a great organization, and they follow suit. It's a reflection of Coach Don's wisdom. He's a guru on the offensive side of the ball. I think, he's good enough to where he could probably coach, be an OC or a head coach in one of the top high school programs. But he's in the development. He'll tell you that. He's, very stringent and tough on his quarterbacks, but you don't see, some of the things that you see, in the professional ranks where guys are arguing with each other, or even in college, arguing with each other. These guys just kind of be next play up. And then the next thing you know, they're in the championship. Next thing you know, they're holding up the hardware. 12U, 14U, and 18U. That quarterback you need to know, Buck Randall. If you don't know his name, get to know him. He's about to be the next guy up here in the DFW area. We're talking about a guy that's going to, if he continues to progress, if he continues to develop, is an Elite 11 type talent. I had a chance to check him out earlier, right before the season started at a Quincy Carter camp. And I said, oh, that's my guy, Buck. And he was just calm, cool, and collected. Buck doesn't make a lot of noise, but once he releases that ball, you will know that he's doo, 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 dart, dart, dart. You would think he plays darts and the precision that he has for such a young age. And he's bursting on the scene. But remember that name, Buck Randall, is coming from the Don Smith tree and the Texas Epic tree.
They say that a team, 9 times out of 10, is a reflection of their coach. And when you see Texas Epic, you see Coach Don. Congratulations, Coach Don Smith, for winning Coach of the Year with DR7. I think that another award that you just kind of got to give to the guy. I mean, stats don't lie, numbers don't lie, and that guy, he's awesome. I mean, if you actually watch him coach, he's just chill, and the players respect him, the way they run their routes and everything. I mean, it's really amazing to see how they operate, and obviously that comes from great leadership. Again, congratulations, Coach Don, on our DR7 Coach of the Year. Now we got one more award to give out. Now, I'm gonna stay out of this one because this topic might get heated with Ben, CJ, and Mark here. Probably in the comments too. I know if Jeter's still on, he's gonna have a lot to say about it. But this one, it's a fun one. So if you feel like your team should win this category, comment in the comment section. I want to shout you out. This next topic is uniform of the year. Now this is fun. We can have fun with this one. Not really too many stats involved unless you're Ben Spicer and put stats on everything. I want to start with CJ though, because CJ got the drip. So we just want to hear from CJ first with the drip. Tell us who had the drip this year, CJ. Who was it?
Man, I'm telling you, the iciest uniforms out there was them Dab 15 jerseys, man. Them Dab jerseys were tough. Like I like all them jerseys, man. Like I like the Dolphins jerseys, the teal jerseys. Like them were some tough jerseys, man. Like them were some nice looking jerseys. The bootleggers, the 18U team, the North bootleggers, they had like the Mardi Gras thing where it was kind of like purplish looking. I like theirs. I think the classic ones with the Irish, that gold lettering was really, really nice to me. An underrated one to me that we didn't really get to see much because we didn't get to see them in our tournaments was the Atlanta Ducks, the retro colors. There was more like the Atlanta Hawks out there. So I thought that's 940 right there. And I think that was a real good colorway, in my opinion, too, that green and black and everything. But we had some really, really dope looking jerseys, man. But by far, those Dab 15, I call them the icy joints. Like them things were tough, man. Like you got to get a picture. If we got a picture of those, Aaron, if you're in the back, get a picture of them Dab 15 icy joints. And them things was rocking. Another team was the Empire out there in Oklahoma. I really like their jerseys too. But we had some really good, really dope looking jerseys all across the board, man. And like I said, it was fun to see those guys, dripped out swag with the bands, wristbands, paint on the eyes and all that type of stuff. That's part of the game, man. True Buzz had some good jerseys. Everybody had some good jerseys, but I'm telling you, them icy joints for 15U, them things was nice.
Aaron, I know you in the background working at Magic. Just if you get a second, just check your phone. I just sent you a surprise from CJ. Mark, get drippy with me, cuz who was it?
Man, I want to say, man, I like Team Texas Fury, man. They changed right like in the phone booth, like in Superman or something. They just came out. Next thing you know, they blew it up. They got a little, ice here and the ice there. Shout out to my guy, Coach Grant, down in the Houston area. But Team Texas Fury had multiple fits. I got to shout out to my guys, STE, Coach Deuce, them my guys. Beta Beach had some great uniforms. St. John's Cobras had some great uniforms. Like CJ said, the Irish, the luck of the Irish, they didn't lose, so they had to, have some pretty good fits. That last one, they were, Tyler, my guy, shout out Tyler Harrison, stayed in some drip, and he always had, a nice little fit or, the wristband game, I'm a towel guy. I like to see how the towels hang. You know what I mean? It can't be too long to your ankles, but, just fitting in the right place. QBs, maybe to the front. I look at those type of things. Who's got the spat? You know what I mean? I like the bootleggers. They had some interesting outfits. The classic Louisiana. I think the 14U always had the Louisiana one. Kind of shout out, to those guys. They brought that New Orleans flavor with the bootleggers as well. That I really liked. Who else did I like? True Buzz was up here earlier, but Buzz always brings. Shout out to Coach Brooks and Moss. Those guys have a lot of fits. But it's definitely, I always check that out when you come in, man, because that's part of the swag game. Shout out to my guys. Your moment is now down in the Houston area. They had some nice fits. That's a new program bursting on the scene. At the Meet Me in the H, and they came up to the Battle in Texas and Plano as well. So they had some nice fits, but probably my favorite. I have to go back to the moment of the year, the King Classic, as you saw it popping up. They had the Coach King, design fits, which I think was one of my favorites as well.
And look at them icy joints right there, man.
There it is.
Absolutely. Shout out to Dab.
I was gonna say,
those
CJ,
guys
there you go.
Playing 18U next year, baby.
They was playing on 18. Man, them look. Everybody needs to look at them jerseys right there and tell me them jerseys ain't hard. Like them jerseys.
Shout out to my guys down there, man. They Galveston County. They put us down.
I'm telling you.
Listen, I will say there was a lot of teams that had a lot of drip all year long. There was teams that had 3-4 uniforms, and they'll play a game in one, and then they'll change up. They'll play a game in another, and they'll change. I mean, it was some nice uniforms going on all year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I actually was very high up on the winner of this category. I think they had the best. Don't put it up yet, Aaron. I just wanted to shout out a couple of teams before we got that far. But I'm telling you right now, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick uniforms. I mean,
West Texas have a little drip too.
Yeah, West Texas. Yeah. They're actually in the comment section. Shouting out their colors, their USA colors. You know what I'm saying? The Texas colors. That's a big deal.
Coach Andre keeps those bars fitted.
Yeah. Trinity Elite had 4 or 5 different uniforms. So I mean, when you think about it out loud, I tell you right now, man, this category is hard to pick when you talk about drip. Ben, I'm coming to you now, and for those who are watching, if you know Ben, you know Ben. If you don't know Ben, Ben is smooth. Ben got one of the best drip there is. I wish I had some photos of Ben because Ben always keep drip. Ben stay drippy. All right, if you know Ben, that Ben don't play about the shoes. He got a match from head to toe.
Shoe game on point.
You know what I'm saying? And so, Ben, somebody done called you out in the comments, Ben. I want to know if this is going to line up and see if you're a man of your word. Somebody called you out in the comments right now and said, a guy named Jim said, Ben, you know what time it is? We talked about it in Tampa. What's he talking about, Ben? Who got the best drip?
Oh, man, it's tough. It's tough. I've got several picks. I know that's not allowed, but I'm just going to go ahead. Well, first, I've been waiting to say this all night. You're both wrong. Because 3 best uniforms to me, we got to start with the St. John's Cobras, baby. You saw the coach on the screen. There is no coach with more swag. I think that's Coach Hemingway. I'm not for sure. I know we've got Carson watching. You can let us know if that's coach there. But the drip that we see from the Cobras every time, they've got multiple jerseys. I love those. To me, the King Classic BYF, I really like those for a single tournament uniform. Those were sharp. Those were tough. Bootleggers, we've talked about the bootleggers, all the different combinations that they have, amazing. I love the bootleggers. I like purple. Purple's my favorite color. So the purple Mardi Gras jerseys, I love those. Minnesota Stars, y'all know I'm partial to the blue and orange. I got to give them a shout out with the stars all over. Jeremy's probably upset about that, but it's all good. And I think I know what Jim's talking about because I told them before the game, 15U championship, Beta Beach jerseys are beautiful. I love the jerseys that have I don't know what the word is, but it's completely covered from the top to the bottom with the design that is nice to me. I love Beta Beach uniforms. My only knock would be it was a little hard for us to see. We're getting old, me and Mark up in the booth. It was a little hard to see those numbers, but we made it work. But yeah, Beta Beach, to me, they're up there. St. John's Cobras and Louisiana Bootleggers. Those were probably my 3. And I liked 940 Elites, the Dallas Mavericks throwback style jerseys. Those were cool too. And True Buzz, you see True Buzz on the screen. We didn't get a picture of my favorite True Buzz jersey, but it was like a little honeycomb. Y'all might know what I'm talking about. They had them at the Crown.
Oh, the honeycomb.
Yeah, nice. that was one of my favorites too. But yeah, I got to say those Florida teams, they know how to bring it, man. The Cobras and the Minnesota Stars and Beta Beach.
Yeah, Ben, I think I can agree with you big time there, man. Them honeycomb jerseys from True. I'm gonna stay out of it because I said what I said to you guys. You guys know who the winner is, and I think that they are well deserving of this award. Now, to each his own. We all got our own opinions because it could be this way today and it could change tomorrow. St. John's Cobras is icy. True Buzz is icy. That West Texas Boom is nice. Fury came out to one of our Dallas events and they came out the bus code. They weren't even dressed yet. They come out the bus code. So you knew what time it was when they got the bus, right? So look, I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Uniform of the year, who is it, Aaron? Tell us, put it on the screen so we can let everybody know. New Mexico. These uniforms, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I wish my guy Adam was here because he'll tell you just like I told you guys. It is hard to get red, yellow, and orange to look good at the same time. And their uniforms look good. They did, I think the right combo was with these uniforms. They did their thing with the numbers, the texture, everything just kind of worked well. So shout out to New Mexico 7v7. I hope somebody's on from New Mexico watching this. But I think these uniforms y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, come on, these uniforms drippy, right?
I got to jump in because the Utah Jazz have that same color scheme. I don't know if y'all watch NBA, and they're terrible. They look absolutely awful. And so New Mexico Heat, the Jazz need to take notes on the New Mexico Heat. And I don't know if y'all noticed, if you pay attention to the detail, but the black on those Heat jerseys, you got little flames in it. And that, I was like, the Heat. And then I saw that and I was like, okay, I like that. So you can see right there on the screen a little bit. If you look at the black, there's a little heat, little flames in there. And you can even see on the number, like, yeah, I think those are tough. I'd be interested to see if they have any other jerseys because we just got to see them once. But yeah, I think we all kind of saw those and came to agreement like, okay, yeah, those got to be, if not jersey of the year, at least top 3.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Ben. It's just the texture and just the the design of the jersey. The color scheme is great, man. But I think what really sets it over the top is just like you said, just the texture in it with the flames and the numbers and everything. So I just feel like that's definitely top tier. Like you said, top 3. It could be really top 2, and we ain't talking 2 type deal. So I really feel like New Mexico Heat, they came out with the drip. I think that was at the Mimi at the Dallas tournament, the second Dallas tournament.
Hold on. Hey, I got one more to add because I completely forgot about them. And I'm sorry to my folks in Monroe, Louisiana. The U Elite, man. Let's talk about the U Elite jerseys because those are tough too. Honestly, though, I like their jerseys last year with the gator on them. I like those colors, but they came with a little different this year. So the U Elite, we got to give Coach Courtney and them a shout out too because they had some nice uniforms too.
I think the white ones were really tough when they came out to the Peach Classic. Honestly, they was like icy white, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were like really, really white, and it was like clean out there. So they definitely did their thing when they came out to the Peach Classic in them all whites.
Look, Mark, come on. I mean, we all in this thing. It's heated.
Well, hey, New Mexico brought the heat. They brought their fire. You know what I mean? They was clean. The balls was coming out drip. You know what I mean? And that was the only time we got a chance to see them. And, I had a chance to talk to some of the kids and the coaches, man. They were bringing it, man. They were right on the edge, every time that they got a chance to play. But they were so elated and excited to come and play in the state of Texas because, Texas football is king. That might be debated in some other places in the area, in the nation. But, everything is bigger in Texas. And they brought the biggest uniforms that they could have, and they made the uniform of the year. But, I mean, you can't, any given Saturday and Sunday, you can come out to a DR7 event and you're going to see some of the cleanest uniforms in the country. And all of these teams that we mentioned brought it not only on the gridiron, but they brought it on that drip, we got, some guys that come with the shades, they got the goggles, the wristbands, I'm watching all that when it comes out. But if you look good, you play good. If you feel good, you play good. And definitely New Mexico felt good and brought the heat when they came out with those fits, and that's the reason they the fit of the year. That was, that was a tough category, probably the toughest of all, because you have so many teams that have, excellent, people who putting them in these, these fitted stuff. Shout out to some of these DR7 colors too, because we drip in all 4 spaces here too. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, we got the chain on, don't we?
Man, we trying to make something happen, make it snappy, you know what I'm saying? It's like Smokey and Cream. Damn! You know what I'm saying? So they just trying to make it happen, man. Shout out to all of the teams, the coaches, the programs of the year, and everybody for trusting DR7 and DR Sports. You mentioned Coach Reagan. I had a chance to catch up with her a couple of weeks ago and have a really good conversation. She had nothing but glowing things to talk about DR7. And she really, really enjoys the team enjoys playing on our circuit and had great things to say, and I'll be talking to her pretty soon. But all of these teams and coaches that have been mentioned throughout the show have each touched each one of us and touched the circuit with their particular brand, with their particular swag, and just the overall level of competition. You can't get it no better. That's why we play football.
I tell you right here, man. Yeah, you guys, y'all summed it up there. I think. I don't know if we missed the team with drip. We may have.
Academy. I know Mark.
Yeah, BPA had some uniforms.
Yeah, they had those.
Definitely BPA. Yo, shout out to Big Play Academy.
I tell you what, man. 10U, Duval. What was my team? From Duval.
With the Jaguars. Yeah. 9 figures.
Yeah, 9 figures. Them uniforms was up.
DEFCON. Dope. Even CN1 was dope.
4K had the Jaguars themed jerseys too.
24K. 24K out of Florida.
Yeah, 24K was nice. 24K.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Colin Hurley down there, one of the top quarterbacks that you need to know.
Just got
in the Florida area.
Hey, we got to stop
25
all night with these uniforms. This is Jeremy bedtime.
Hey man, them popsicle orange New Orleans Dolphins jersey was tough too.
Hey,
no
New
doubt.
Orleans Dolphins had a couple of uniforms there where I was like, wait a minute,
Underrated.
this is the Dolphins?
Really underrated.
Matching Bass Pro hats. That was fun.
Hey, I will say this too though. Them outlaw jerseys, I can't remember what tournament it was. That simple green with the gold across the chest. Them outlaw, them tough too, man. I mean, sometimes you ain't got to be extra to be simple, to be drippy, right? You can be simple.
Look at this.
And be drippy.
CM Naturals had some dope uniforms.
Yeah.
They were all black.
Carolina
Raiders out there.
Carolina Stars that was in the Atlanta tournament.
Yeah, simple but drippy. That I think that's the theme, right? Simple and drippy.
Yeah.
Now I will say, you know, we're getting ready to wrap up this show. Ben's right. It is past my bedtime. Well, as we continue to wrap up this show, I would like to say you guys may have sparked the next topic for our next show. Maybe it's something we need to plan. And y'all tell me right now in the comments if you're still watching. I know we've been on for a while, but if you're still hanging tight with us, I would like to hear from everybody. Who got the best football state? That might be the topic of our next show. And we're gonna go on and on about that. And I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, it's not really much of an argument.
I think the three.
I'm gonna have to go hard for my boys, man.
Hey,
I'm gonna have to go for the state.
I think right now we all will get into the debate of different states because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ain't rocking with y'all know who, and I'm gonna save it for later. You're wrong. Y'all can say all the Texas stuff you want. But there's guys over here in the Peach State, the real Peach State, not the Peach Classic. The Peach State.
Okay.
Making some
noise.
You
know, you sitting on the throne right now, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. We coming for you. Everybody coming for you.
Best state right now is Georgia, I'm telling you. Numbers don't lie. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. That might be the next topic. You guys tell us who it is. I know everybody's gonna have something different to say. And we'll get into it at a later time. But without further ado, thank you everybody who was watching us. And I appreciate you guys for staying on with us throughout this show and our award show. We was more than happy to bring it to you. I think these guys and programs that have won these awards were more than deserving of doing. But we want to give love, and like I said at the beginning of the show love to everybody who showed love to us throughout the DR7, DR Sports season. We love our DR7 community, our DR Sports community. If there's anything we can do for anybody, y'all let us know. We will continue to bring you exposure to the athletes and highlight these programs that are doing well by these athletes and these families to create a better future for these kids. That's what it's all about. And that's what we want to bring awareness to, is improving and making a change in these kids' life. So if you don't mind, please follow us on our social media, Aaron. I'll put them up on the screen there for us. It would be crazy if I told you I had it memorized, but I don't. But our website, drsports.com. Follow us on Instagram at drsports and on Twitter, drsports _ there. Shout us out, follow us, send us a comment. We're pretty active. We try to get back to all the comments that we can, that we see. I know we're all busy, and we got some exciting things that's coming up here in the near future. I won't spill none of those beans, but just stay tuned. The season may be over with 707, but it's not over with us. We still rocking and roll. We're heavy, we're full head of steam, and we appreciate everybody that's rocking with us. Before we go, I'm gonna give you guys some last thoughts, and then we'll get out of here because my pillow is calling my name. CJ, we'll start with you.
I just want to say congratulations to all the program winners, Coach of the Year, to Don, to Coach Harvey, to, who the drippiest uniform, to the New Mexico Heat. So just everybody, like I said, this has really been thoughtful. All of us, and even our media group, all of us have put heavy thought into all this. So like I said, if you didn't get mentioned tonight, like I said, we still watching you, we still rolling with you, we still rocking with you at all times and everything. So like I said, it was a very eventful night. And like I said, y'all gotta watch for them unis. Them unis are tough. Them unis are tough, man. We got some of the toughest unis in the game at DR7, man. But like I said, congratulations to all the guys that are Coach of the Year and program winners, and like I said, Uni of the Year and stuff like that.
Mark, talk to us.
Man, congratulations to everybody for the wins tonight. This was heavily debated. Anytime I can wake up the next morning with 600 or 700 text messages, and I slept the whole night, these are heavy debates that go on. These guys really, really grind to get this. This was heavily voted on, not just about the guys that you see on the screen, but guys behind the scenes that put these graphics together, the shooters that get these shots, these pictures, all of these highlights. These guys had an input on this as well. And everything we do at DR7 is about being elite. The DR Sports brand is about being elite. We're trying to be elite in everything that we give you from us. And you guys have come this year in the first year of DR Sports and the DR7 circuit, and you were elite competitors, elite coaches, and elite programs, and you had elite fits. And that's what we're all about. We're here to help our DR7 community, like Jeremy said, to get that exposure. We want to see you guys, improve each time we see you.
No, I can't look.
From my
I did it like
perspective,
5
I'll
times.
turn around and see these guys on Friday and Saturdays and Thursday nights. Being myself, CJ, we're steady. If you follow the DR7 platform, you see new things that come out. You're seeing a little bit of footage that you see now, but it's hours and hours of hard working footage and cutting up. Ben stays up, CJ stays up, Jeremy, Aaron behind the scenes, you don't see his face. These guys really put in the work. It's all kind of pieces to the puzzle. If you ever play Connect 4, you drop it in there and it comes out of the result. And you have to put those pieces together and connect the dots to win. And that's what we're all about here at DR Sports.
Ben?
Well, first, I just want to say Jeremy does not stay up. He does most of his work during the morning hours, and we appreciate him, our media director. And second, please don't ever let me go after Mark again. How do I follow that up? I don't even know what to say now. He touched
it is pretty tough.
Base. Yeah, a man of a wordsmith, you could say. But I just want to say, we had our moments of the year, and there were 2 very special moments, and I'm looking forward to making new moments next year. Not to get cliche and soft on you guys, but for year 1, the things that we accomplished, I took some notes real quick before we wrap things up. We had 10 tournaments overall, 21 states were represented, an average of 66 teams at each of our tournaments, and 2 tournaments with over 100 teams. Meet Me in the H had 117, and the Crown National Championship with 115. That's just in year 1. And like a couple of these guys alluded to earlier, we've got some big things still in store that are yet to come. So definitely make sure you stay tuned. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Add us on social media. We've already got some text coming in about the uniforms and the picks and everything. So make sure you voice your opinions. Let them be heard. But DR Sports, this is just the beginning for DR Sports and DR7. Big things in store. And we're looking forward to coming back with award shows in the years to come. So definitely make sure you continue the support, and we appreciate everyone who was rocking with us in year 1. We couldn't have done it without you guys. And also a big shout out to Aaron Lee, the guy behind the scenes who helped make this show possible and who worked tirelessly to bring this production to you and did an amazing job. We couldn't do it without him, so I wanted to make sure we gave him a shout out too.
I echo everything that everybody has said so far. Eyes are getting heavy. So from Ben, CJ, Mark, Aaron Lee behind the scenes, I'm Jeremy. We will see y'all on the next show from DR Sports. Thank you guys for watching.